Hi there, I'm Timothy Linsdau, video producer and a Christian. Do stuff with the Boy Scouts, and I'm a Kiwanian. Looks like the Christians are having a bit of a tough here over the impeachment of the president. And that seems to have riled up the news a little bit. Now let's take a look at that. Like and comment on my videos, subscribe to my channel, that'd be terrific. Thank you. Well, what's going on out there? Well, a publication called Christianity Today, a retiring editorialist, ripped into Trump and those supporting Trump. Now, that would definitely excite people because, in general, most Christians are conservative and would probably support conservative politicians. So that's kind of a shock. And I'm sure those on the left would be excited about this, as Mark Galli, editor-in-chief of Christianity Today, wrote this kind of scathing editorial against Trump. And so there you go. But this reminds me a little bit of Greenpeace. Did you know that the founder of Greenpeace quit Greenpeace because it slowly became far more leftist and even violent? And these things seem to happen with organizations that start out doing some good, and they have a tendency to slip left and do become more violent. They become actually a religious, an evangelical fervor in their position. But anyway, let's go on with what this is about. Franklin Graham waded in on this. He's the son of Billy Graham, the famed 20th century evangelist, and some of the 21st. He had to get involved in this, and Graham said, "My father would have been disappointed," as he says, firing back at Christianity Today's elitist liberal call for President Trump's removal. Okay, let's talk about Graham a little bit. Evangelist Franklin Graham has responded to a fiery editorial calling for President Trump's removal from office, posted online Thursday by Christianity Today, a publication founded by his father, Billy Graham. That's why I compare that to Greenpeace, that it's possible that Christianity Today organization has slipped left, or maybe in particular it's one person, I don't know. But the editor-in-chief, Galli, of course, posted the editorial just one day after Trump became the third president to be impeached. And Galli wrote, "The impeachment of Donald Trump is a significant event in the story of our republic. It requires comment." And he goes on, "The President of the United States has attempted to use his political power to coerce a foreign leader to harass and discredit one of the president's political opponents," he wrote. But Galli didn't stop there. He also called out Trump's evangelical supporters, attacking them. "Consider what an unbelieving world would say if you continue to brush off Trump's immoral words and behavior," and it goes on and on. It doesn't take long before you can see this is, I believe, a leftist position. So you're seeing things can get divided and argumentative within the Christian world. And that's been since the beginning, unfortunately. Let's go back to Franklin Graham. He said in a statement posted on his Facebook page early Friday, Graham, the president and CEO of the Billy Graham Evangelistic Association of the Samaritan's Purse. Samaritan Purse is an international Christian relief organization. His response to the publication, which was founded in 1956 by his father, that's Christianity Today. The late Billy Graham, his son, now Franklin Graham, noted his father would not have agreed with the publication's stance and would have been very disappointed with it. He also revealed that the late evangelist even voted for President Trump. Now, Christianity Today released an editorial stating that, this is Franklin, quoting Franklin, Christianity Today released an editorial stating that President Trump should be removed from office, and they invoked my father's name. I suppose, to try to bring legitimacy to their arguments. So I feel it's important for me to respond, and I suspect he tries to avoid politics as much as he can. Yes, he said, yes, my father, Billy Graham, founded Christianity Today, but no, he would not agree with their opinion piece. In fact, he would be very disappointed. He says, I have not previously shared who my father voted for in the past election, but because of this article, I feel it necessary to share that he voted for Donald Trump. And he believed that Donald Trump was the right man for this hour in history for our nation. Now, there's an example of how I believe as a Christian that God is actually involved in our world and puts people in power in places for specific times and places and needs. The Old Testament is full of that information. Christianity Today to side with the Democratic Party is totally partisan attack on the President of the United States. Graham says that's really unfathomable. Christianity Today failed to acknowledge that not one single Republican voted with the Democrats to impeach the president. And Graham says, I know a number of Republicans in Congress, and many of them are strong Christians. If the president were guilty of what the Democrats claimed, these Republicans would have joined with the Democrats to impeach him. But the Democrats were not unanimous. 2 voted against impeachment, 1 voted present. This impeachment was politically motivated, 100% partisan. Why would Christianity Today choose to take the side of the Democrat left, whose only goal is to discredit and smear the name of the sitting president? They want readers to believe the Democrat leadership rather than believe the President of the United States. I usually don't wade into these political things either because they're usually endless arguments, even though it is an endless argument. The country, I believe, was founded by Christians on a Christian foundation, as many universities and schools were based on Christianity, and that those slowly have turned away from those positions. And very few hold to them, such as Hillsdale College. And that seems to be the nature of people. If you read in the Old Testament, especially in Judges, well, there was a constant up and down, fall and rise of people, of a particular people. And through the history, many show that. America's had the same issues. A terrible civil war, 1860s, the political wrangling and fighting that went on in the 1850s before that can actually be an example for us to study to see what's going on today, how these divisions come about and what happens. One of these things about these divisions, the rise and fall continues. And that's what you're going to see. That's just what you're going to see. People will give up their fundamental beliefs. I believe that the glue that held this country together is a Christian faith, God-fearing glue that held things together. And if that fades away, you'll not have the same country. As some of the forefathers said, you have to have that type of glue to hold a republic like this together, or we won't make it. It's got to be something internal. It's got to be something outside of you making things happen. But it's internal within you, and what's in your heart and mind, and the belief of all mankind in this universe. Look what happened to Soviet Russia. Gulags, the destructions of tens of millions of people by starvation. Same thing in communist China. Over and over again. It's led us into horrible wars that we can't win. And the reason for that is you're not getting into the hearts and minds of the people. God may put a tyrant over them to control them. Take it for what you will. For the non-believer out there, there's still politics. There's still things that happen in the world that we have to deal with. And try to make the wisest decision you can. This particular story shows you that Christians aren't in lockstep on many subjects, and it's been that way since the beginning. It takes time and study, but most of all love to make this thing work. Loving your neighbor is so important to learn and grow from each other. So the point being here that somebody in particular in the Christianity Today apparently leans quite left. and that person is leaving that publication, retiring as of the first of the year, and maybe had to vent something. And then the Christian leader, such as Franklin Graham, has an opposition to that, and he needed to defend President Trump, and he does that in this article. I'll include the links in these two links in the articles for you to read and decide for yourself where this thing goes. So, now, that's over with. Let's move on to the holiday. It's Christmas time. It's New Year coming up. It's a time to enjoy and with family and friends, and make it a good time. Make it a joyous time. Make it a devout time for yourself. So, get out there and first of all, I want to thank you for listening. Like and comment on my videos, subscribe to my channel. And do get out there and just make it a great day for you and everyone else.